Hello there. I am very hyped. I haven't been necessarily keeping up with this, but from what I know, this seems like it could be a very spicy. Nope. Thank you. I'm having difficulties loading the pro draft. I would comment, but I can't really see that. Mm.
Join me and be elevated.
Yeah. Yeah, I spent that whole time repeatedly clicking on the pro draft link trying to actually see what was happening, but it just wasn't cooperating with me. Were you muted? I haven't been able to hear you for a bit. Not sure if that's because you're doing something or...
Well, you know what? We're working things out. There we go. All right, we are now unmuted. Hey, welcome everyone to NA Production Excellency Shoutcasting. First game of the day. We always have a couple of errors. You guys got to watch the pro draft without any commentary that I was talking to myself over here, filling that out. But you know what? I broke it down once. I can break it down again. Just want to say welcome to all of you. This is the Amateur Invitational League. These are 6 different organizations that have submitted 2 teams each to a massive tournament that will be happening this weekend and next weekend. Today, we're covering different groups. So it's actually a little bit of an error if I check this real quick on the side of the title. This is Group C, the first 3 games of the day. Going to be 5 caster minions taking on Literal Monkeys, submitted by Ascension and Genesis respectively. And you saw those pro-drafted picks, what the priorities were. The Vladimir, absolute top priority from the side of 5 caster minions, first pick of the day. And then all the delay until the very last picks for the counter pick on the side of Literal Monkeys, waiting to see whether or not Vladimir was going to be flexed into the mid lane. And with that last pickup from 5 caster minions into the, the Gnar into the top lane, Vladimir did get pushed to the mid lane where he doesn't usually play, and so Ornn was that counter pick by the side of Literal Monkeys. Defiant, we can now hear you and you can see the draft. Tell us what your thoughts are, at least so far.
Like you said at one point, both teams have amazing team fight and a lot of engage. Personally, when I'm looking for any champion, for any jungler with engage, I always go for Zac, because he can just jump in from a mile away and ult you into his team. And also with the Nautilus, you can ult someone in the back line and knock up their entire team along the way. So that's a super powerful comp, but I think over on the side of 5 caster minions is left, right?
The left-hand side, the blue side, is 5 caster minions. The red side, on the right-hand side, is Literal Monkeys, correct?
Yes, okay. They have a lot more poke. They have the Gnar Q, the Ezreal Q. Vladimir can sort of out-sustain, like, little small trades between the teams. So, really, I think the win condition for Literal Monkeys here is to just get a massive wombo with the Ornn, Zac, cast Nautilus, then Jinx ult. For massive team damage in CC, while the 5 caster minions are going to play a lot more reserved and try to engage at just the right time with their Rammus and Braum, maybe their Vladimir with a flash ult and then pool.
That's
something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a Gnar.
That's the thing from the 5 caster minions, is their pick potential is massive. When they've got that Rammus taunt, they've got the Braum knockup. Yes, it can hit multiple people, but it's also excellent at just holding one in place. That said, they do have some 5-man AoE, though that will become a little bit more critical as the game scales to the later stages of the game. With that Vladimir Hemoplague, you also have the Gnar in that Mega Gnar form, can slam a bunch of people into a wall, get massive stuns. But on the early side of the game, Ezreal's damage, it's very one individual player focused. You gotta land that E to follow up with the Mystic Shot to get that excellent damage. Sorry, excuse me, this is W, and then land the Mystic Shot to kind of get that stacking damage, that scaling damage. So it's more single target, and you're looking a little bit more for picks, not as much those big fights. Whereas as soon as Cassiopeia gets that Petrify, oh boy, you want to skirmish, you want to look for the 5-man, you want to decimate in a team fight. Before we continue with the analysis, I want to run through the players and their champions just to make sure that we shout out every player who's playing in this game. From the side of 5 caster minions, we've got Puffin on the Gnar in the top lane, Crotheo with the Rammus in the jungle, Vortex Slayer 999 on Vladimir for the mid lane, Barack Obama, love the name, Ezreal 80 carry, Preacher Boy 12 on the Braum. For the side of literal minions, would you like to go, little monkeys, excuse me, would you like to go through them Defiant, or would you like me to?
Sure. Quest Forlorns on Ornn top lane. We have Paka Paul on Zac. Why are you running? Huh. Classic meme on Cassiopeia mid. Traxon on Jinx ADC, and Zufo on Nautilus support.
All right, so with all of these locked in, we talked a little bit about those engages, but again, for the side of literal monkeys, when you're looking at the 5-man Zac ultimate Ornn Horn, it's so easy to just call that Call of the Forge God and set up for a big play on top of Nautilus. They are stacked on the CC. Question is, how is their tank lineup going to deal with the damage, especially later stages of the game, with the Vladimir, the Gnar, and the Ezreal? Because Nautilus and Ornn, while they are tanky, and Zac does have pretty good innate health, is it actually good enough versus a Rammus, who's just going to be so incredibly tanky, and a Vladimir who, yeah, he's got a bit of health, but his regen makes him almost unkillable as that front line?
Yeah, with all of the sustain on Vladimir, I'll be surprised if Cass and Jinx don't build a Morello or an Executioners respectively once they actually get into the team fighting phase of the game, because it's just going to be impossible to kill him if they don't.
All right, well, we'll see how all that stacks up. The other thing I want to watch, especially towards that bottom side of the map, is the Nautilus has been wrecking in recent fights. He is absolutely devastating. He's got pretty good AP scaling on his abilities now, as well as that CC chain that he can pull off is just disgusting. So in the bottom lane, when you have a Jinx who's so good at being able to lead into those hyper scaling, hyper carrying, mid game to late game champion, if she gets an early kill, things could look incredibly good for the side of literal monkeys. And I want to see if they'll actually follow through on that, or if the Braum with that unbreakable wall can basically deny a lot of those engages and hold off until Ezreal hits his 2-item power spike and can really start to take over some of those skirmishes and fights.
Yeah, if Braum can effectively defend Ezreal, then it's gonna be rough for literal monkeys, because a lot of their with the Jinx playing a hyper carry, or with the ADC being a hyper carry in Jinx, they really want to get an early lead, or they're not going to be nearly as useful as they want to be. So the Nautilus pick is going to hopefully help with that, and I imagine Pakapal, the Zac, will be trying to gank bot a lot more this game.
All right, what if you
apply
are
some pressure?
Coming just in right now, we have ourselves a game number 1 of the Amateur Invitational Tournament. We've got 5 caster minions on the blue side, literal monkeys on the red side. Now, if they're actual monkeys sitting there mashing away on the keyboard, we hope to see some good gameplay out of them nonetheless. And with that all being said, let's get into game number 1. I'm not expecting any crazy invades, especially on the side of literal monkeys. They have the option with the Nautilus, but it is dangerous. Now, Braum is a great invader because of those passive blows stacks. However, the danger of walking into, say, an early game Jinx or Cassiopeia with those poison stacks can just make you a little bit nervous to try to make that engage. And so we get the classic. It's game number 1. You got to just warm up to it. You got started. It's the 5-man defense from both sides. Just making sure there's no crazy invades.
Yeah. I didn't really imagine these teams would try to invade, especially having a Zac in the jungle. If Zac wants to invade, then he would have to start Q or E, and that's just not viable for actually clearing. He has to start W if he wants to have a decent clear. So it's really risky if they would want to try to invade, even though they have the Nautilus, because they are going into a Braum, and their Zac would be possibly crippled by it for quite a while.
Indeed. Now, for the side of 5-caster communities, as you were saying, that Ram is going to be starting off on his red side. So, should be interesting to see whether he runs directly for a Scuttle Crab or if he's going to get that blue and kind of just start to scale up slowly. Rammus can gank pre-6 and doesn't need the 6 to gank, but it's more about getting a couple of items because at the very beginning of the game, he's not exactly the most tankiest member, and even if he goes in and grabs a nice taunt, he can be turned on, burned down pretty quickly.
Yeah, I know definitely Rammus is going to have to sort of be a vanguard for his bot lane, try and counter gank the Zac whenever Zac tries to come down there and pull some stuff. But he's going to have, I think, probably a harder time ganking than Zac because of how he ganks, especially early. He doesn't have the movement speed necessarily.
Oh, hold on. The Nautilus engaging that level 2 early. They're going to find the root, get a bunch of damage onto the Braum, force the flash. The Ignite is down from the Nautilus. However, Braum's got some potions to heal up, so Preacher Boy will live. Just going to have to sustain for a while to get back into the game. Fortunately, he's paired with an Ezreal who can farm from a mile away with those Mystic shots, so shouldn't be too much difficulty.
Yeah. I was saying before, Rammus might not necessarily have the move speed this early to actually effectively gank a lane without them being overextended or not having vision. While Zac is going to be a lot easier to gank with, and it's just going to get better with level as opposed to items, so he's going to be more effective the longer he stays in the jungle, while Rammus will be the opposite, probably.
Yeah, so with that, what you're talking about those engages from the Rammus and the Zac, the one thing that I want to see out of Pocket Paul with that Zac is using his ability to hop over those walls to, as you were saying, have those engaged a little bit better. We might see a fight between the junglers in the mid lane. The smite from the Rammus steals away the Scuttle Crab. Now they can turn on Pocket Paul. The Zac has to run. He's getting a little bit low. He does have flash. He tries to hop over the wall. Successful for the moment, but the Dart's going to come in. The Q's going to miss. So they can't continue to chase the Zac. They get a little bit of a hop. Nothing too terrible, but pushing that jungler out of the way is good. Back again to the bottom lane. A quick early unbreakable from Braum, but will it be enough? The CC from Nautilus into the Flame Chompers from the Jinx almost takes down Braum as he was able to walk away with just a little bit of health. The Jinx actually burned Flash to practically flash in place, so a bit of a mistake there from Traxxon, not getting that much range. If she'd been able to flash a bit further, might have been able to land a second auto attack to take Braum down. However, we're still open to first blood this game, even with all the fighting.
Yeah, and that's the second time that the Nautilus Jinx bot lane has had great synergy. The Nautilus hooking the Braum and auto-attacking him for the CC, while the Jinx lays down her Flame Chompers and gets those off on the Braum. And both times they've nearly killed him.
Oh, here comes the Zac engage in the top lane. Forces the flash. Not going to be that much. You're talking about forcing play as well. The force play in the top side just burns a flash on Gnar.
That's good. That was a successful gank by the Zac, for sure. that gives Ornn a lot more flexibility to just like have pressure in the lane, knowing that he can't get flashed on or flash ulted.
Oh, Gnar might be going down. Look at the damage coming out of the Braum on that, or sorry, not the Braum, the Ornn on that top side. The chat was even mentioning, where's TL, was mentioning the fact that Gnar was down so much CS, so he was losing experience, and now he's going to lose even more. Forced to TP back to that top side. He is down almost half the minions of that Ornn, and Quest for Ions doing an amazing job on that top side. So much pressure onto this Gnar.
Oh, I just realized I mispronounced his name. That's a capital I, not an L.
That's all right.
That's on my part.
I hope that I'm correct at least. I think it's an I. We'll see if the chat corrects me,
that
as they
looks
might
like
notice
a capital I.
a little bit better. But that is first blood over to the side of the Ornn, which is not exactly what you want on the side of 5 caster minions, but they are going to try to make a play for their own first blood in the bottom lane as Ram is going to come on rolling in the taunt onto the Nautilus. There it goes, holding in place for a little bit longer. However, there's no follow-up CC, and the Nautilus walks away. He's just too tanky at the early side of the game, and even with Jinx's flash being down, Nautilus plays that meat shield and just so patiently waits out the CC and walks away. Didn't have to burn his own flash or anything.
Yeah, I'm sort of surprised that they didn't have any vision in the river there to see the Rammus gank incoming, but I'm also very surprised that they were able to get out of that without blowing anything. They just walked away from the Rammus, and Jinx got a really good Flame Chompers off, rooting both the Braum and the Rammus, completely shutting down the chance they had of going on them.
Alright, so we see a small gold lead for the side of Literal Monkeys as that CS lead in the top side is closing a little bit of a distance. That's pretty nice from Puffin up there, who was down almost 15 CS, now closing the gap a little bit. However, as he's roaming away, that wave crashing into the turret, Ornn has hit that level 7, so can start to make some plays. He's keeping level with that Cassiopeia in the mid lane, level 7s as well there between both mid laners, so we could start to see some of these ultimates coming out, and the main one I want to watch is this Cassiopeia. Does she try to roam and use that Petrify stun in another lane, or is she going to wait for the jungler to join forces with her to try to take down Vladimir, who has been well known to be a very hard jungler very hard champion to try to gank with that pool. And we get the Ocean Drake started up by Literal Monkeys. I got all 5 members there with the side of 5 caster minions having backed earlier.
Yeah, and they basically just get a free dragon here. Yeah.
Easy peasy, just walk forward, grab the Drake when everyone has recalled, and that is amazing from Literal Monkeys, keeping that vision and knowing that the side of 5 caster minions head back, didn't have the pressure, didn't have the champions on that bottom side of the map. So with that, they're going to have a small advantage there. We don't even have the Rift Herald on the map yet.
Top lane is applying a lot of pressure on the side of Literal Monkeys. He just keeps chunking down the Gnar repeatedly, forcing him off of a lot of CS that's happening. Really securing that CS lead with the kill gold he got.
And one of the things I like from both teams that we're seeing is it's pretty competitive. Neither team has been able to find such an advantage in a lane that they've been able to grab some of those plates yet. All turrets still sitting on those 5 plates, so the game's still fairly even, which is giving these junglers time to hit their ultimates, and especially for Pakapal on that Zac, expecting to see him make some plays with that ultimate. Pakapal, one of those champions for the side of Literal Monkeys that had 3 major bans in the first ban phase against him. They were trying to knock him down. The Cassiopeia roaming to the bottom lane. This is what I'm talking about. She's got to wait out the Unbreakable from the Braum. The ultimate does not come out just yet. There it is, just to slow down the Ezreal. Get a couple more Twin Fang shots. He's going to flash away, but I don't think that's going to be enough to take him down as the healing comes through. And a great Unbreakable from Preacher Boy. Delays until it's far too late. The rocket from the Jinx. A little bit close, body blocked by Braum, doing a fantastic job with the meat shield. A little bit of skirmish at the top side, but Rammus sees the enemy team jungler and backs away.
Yeah, this game has had a surprising amount of action for only having 1 kill going down at this point. But right now, I'd like to point out that they've sort of snowballed lightly the gold lead they had to 1,000 gold.
Jungle is getting a little bit of skirmish. Hold on, the Ram is going to be knocked out. Once again, he sold the Scuttle Crab on the top side. The Zac ultimate not going to do anything, but that's all right because the Ornn has finished off the Rammus. Pocket Paul drops, but he's got that passage to come back up. True Shot Barrage comes rocking on by, but Ornn doesn't care. The flash from the Cassiopeia to help Ornn pick up a double kill. Now they can turn on to the Gnar, but he's gone Mega Form. The Zac has gone back up from his passive. The CC between these two tanks, good. Forces the flash out of Puffin, so he will live. In the end, it's only a trade 1-for-1, but a great fight. You can see both teams willing to commit to bring multiple members in.
Yeah, and that's just further cemented the gold lead on Literal Monkey's side. They're up to 16k, while 5 caster minions are down to less than 15k.
Yeah, that was, excuse me, a 2-for-1 as the Ornn did pick up a double kill up there. Of course, the Death Climber's pretty fast on the early side, so you don't always get to see everyone sitting on those cooldowns before they get back onto the Rift. But with Ornn now leading a 3-0 kill lead over the Gnar 1-1, but also having about a 20 and a little bit CS lead as well. He's got some pretty good gold. If we check into gold graph for a moment, he's got about 1,500 gold over the Gnar. I want to see where he takes that and applies that because Ornn, again, Call the Forge God, excellent at starting fights. He could try to make some roams with that TP. Nautilus gonna start up a fight in the bottom lane. I feel like I just keep talking because it's non-stop action. However, the action gonna die off pretty quickly as once again 5 caster minions back away.
Yeah, another thing, now that Ornn got 2 plates, the only person on the map to have any plates, they're up to almost a 2k gold lead on the side of Literal Monkeys. This is a very dominant early game from them so far.
Caster Minions gonna try to come back in. Nice Petrify by Cassiopeia completely nullifies the gank as they're gonna be a little bit of Zac fighting on that top side. There's the knockup from the Ornn. Mega Gnar shoves both members back underneath the turret, but the Zac ult says, we don't want to fight underneath your turret. We'll pull you out of it. And Puffin still trying to escape, but the hammer to the back. It's Thor Ornn coming to that top side, picking up his 4th kill of the game. Cassiopeia making a little bit play on the Vladimir, but again, he should heal that up just fine.
Yeah, that was a great ulti by Zac in the top lane, and that's just going to let Ornn get yet another plate and snowball that gold lead even more. They're at a 1.5k gold lead now, really dominating this early game and just shutting down anything that 5 caster minions are trying to do with that castle in the mid lane, anything happening in the bot lane. They haven't been able to get anything other than a kill in a skirmish that went badly for them.
Right, exactly. And it's on the Gnar who's continuing to fall behind. So when the member of your team that has the kill is 40 CS behind your opponent who has 4 kills on his side, it's not looking that good. And again, keep in mind that Ocean Drake was picked up by Little Monkeys earlier. Blue buff is stolen away by the Rammus, but he's going to get himself knocked up inside the wall. Taken down. There's that first kill to Jinx. We've been looking for the hyper scaling for Traxon. Now, something to note in the bottom side, 4 or 5 caster minions. The Braum and Ezreal, very effective at being able to just keep this lane calm. The CS is pretty much even. Neither team has gotten any of those plates, which are about 30 seconds away from falling. So they've been done a fantastic job of dealing with the Nautilus CC and just playing the lane out smooth. It's Nautilus going to go in once again onto the Braum. He's going to get CC'd up for a moment. Stand behind me, throws out that ultimate as well. Get a couple members knocked up, but again, it's all for the disengage. As a little bit of skirmish in the mid lane, Vladimir just going to pull away for now. Will the chase continue from the side of Literal Monkeys? The slow from Vladimir is good. Back to the top side. Just a bit of skirmishing. They're still chasing this Vladimir. Huge commitment from Literal Monkeys. They find the knockup. Zac ultimate. But I think that Vladimir somehow pulled his way out of that. He's going to flash. The Gnar comes in. He's got the knockup as well. Vladimir picks up the kill onto the Zac, whose passive hadn't come back up yet. And a great escape and collapse from Puffin on this top side. Give 5 caster minions their 2nd kill of the game.
Yeah, Zac accidentally shortcasted his ult, which just knocks them up and away from you instead of carrying them with you. It's a super common mechanical mistake on Zac. Even people who are more experienced will sometimes do that. and it's just one of the worst feelings when you mean...
They engage once again onto the Gnar. Well, hold on, Ornn is here. Oh, I meant the Rammus was here trying to make a play onto the Ornn. And Quest for Ions just not even caring. Literally not even caring. He's just going to walk away.
Yeah, Quest for Ions is apparently nigh unkillable right now. Getting ganked by the Rammus and just continuing to engage and not even really feeling any pain from that.
More people for me to kill? Sounds good.
Yeah.
Rift Herald is up and available on the map. Neither jungler giving attention to it just yet. However, the Scuttlecrab has been secured by 5 caster minions, so they've at least got vision around it if Literal Monkeys try to start something, as Zach is still on that top side of the map. Mid laners continuing to just kind of harass each other. However, Vladimir starting to get some of that damage we were expecting and that healing coming through. He hasn't really been shut down this game. He's picked up that Hextech Proto Belt, so he will have that 4 engages and adds just that extra boost of damage he needs in the early game.
Yeah, really from this mid lane, both of them, super early, had about the same sustain since Vlad, doesn't have the AP he needs for his ratios to really shine. But now that, and Cassiopeia does have healing if she lands a Q before she starts using her Twin Fangs on someone. So with that, it's
a little bit of a fight. Hold on, breaking down around the Ocean Drake. Well, it's not Ocean Drake, it's the Mountain Drake coming up. In the meantime, Nautilus is going to find the Hulk. Vortex goes in, he's got bubbled. The Mega Gnar hunting 2 members. The disengage is good from the side of 5 caster minions. However, Built Rock Obama just a little bit too far forward. Now the Vladimir, after that engage to the back line, is going to find himself dropping triple kill to Traxon with a great positioning from that Jinx. And excuse me, it's not a Mountain Drake, it's an Infernal Drake that they're going to get as an extra prize to top off the delicious cake that they just consumed.
That was a very well played fight by Literal Monkeys. Yet again, they're really shining in this game. They're doing extremely well. The Ornn ult, though it wasn't like a huge ultimate in the overall scheme of the team fight, it had an impact, and it made the enemy team disengage and leave their Vlad for dead. That Zac ult, bringing the Braum into the thick of it to just get bursted down, it was a really well executed fight, and Traxon did a lot of cleanup there. Did very well cleaning up too. Rammus
gank at the bottom side, but they didn't bring any damage. Let's see if they can actually find this kill as Ezreal slowly walking his way up. However, with that ultimate from Rammus, they actually are going to drop Traxon down to about half health. Zufo on the run. The Nautilus going to see if he can make this escape. The TP coming in from the Ornn. He's got the... Oh, excuse me, that's the Cassiopeia who's brought in that teleport. The Ornn's teleport was already on cooldown, and a good disengage from Literal Monkeys, getting out of what could have been an easy 2 kills for 5 caster minions.
I have to point out in a good mechanical, not mechanical,
Oh, the engage. Hold on, Ezreal ultimate just gonna tear through 2 members. They're so low. Rammus is walking in from behind. He's taking up the turret, but Gnar is here. They're gonna trade 2 for 1 so far, but the chase from Literal Monkeys, they want to grab the Rock Obama, but a great Gnar stun puts 2 people into the wall. Gnar gonna chase onto the Cassiopeia. In the meantime, Ezreal chunking down and finally falls to Pac, who's just doing her Palkas. Paul, who's done a fantastic job on this Zac, now has to run from the Gnar. In the meantime, Ornn caught out Vladimir. We didn't get to see that fight, but solos him down. And again, every single one of these fights, while it started off nice for 5 caster minions, Literal Monkeys just responds so well.
Yeah, Literal Monkeys is almost... they're 4K away from a 10K gold lead. They have a 6K gold lead, and Ornn is just continuously proccing his demolish on these turrets, really hammering their advantage objective-wise. And they've gotten both of the dragons so far, which are actually really good against 5 caster minions, because of 5 caster minions poke with the Ezreal and Gnar. The Ocean Drake basically negates that, and then the Infernal Drake just pushes their lead even further. So they've gotten really lucky with the dragons here, and they've made a pretty big impact.
Well, that's the thing from the side of Literal Monkeys, is that you had that Ornn on the top side who went 5-0 in lane. Well, now during the team fight stages, Trax and the Jinx is 5-1. So your Hyperscaler is online at the 20-minute mark. She's got 2 items, Infinity Edge and the Randuin's Hurricane. She's going to be dealing massive damage when they group for these fights, which is what they want, and they're being so successful at that. They're causing 5 caster minions to continuously run around the map, try to figure out where can we go, where can we go. But when you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, Literal Monkeys are going to find you with this chain CC that they have gotten in those picks and bans, and they will take you out. There's the Zac engage. Ornn going to be called. The Zac ult trying to derail 2 members, but the 2 members are dead before you can even pull them out. It's a tidal wave from Literal Monkeys. The Zac's passive maybe popped. Excuse me, he didn't have it, so he will go down. It's 1 kill to Gnar, but it's a full team ace for the side of Literal Monkeys. Once again, as we said on those rotations, catching people out, and with that Jinx, they can turn onto the Baron.
Yeah, Literal Monkeys are just absolutely playing at the top of their game right now, I'd say. They've only had good skirmishes. They've never had a bad skirmish this game, and every time one of them has died, it's been for multiple kills that more than make up for it on the enemy team. And also with the Ornn basically just split pushing, taking down half a turret's health bar in 1 demolish proc. It's really just been an amazing performance, and I really like how well Quest for Ions has been doing, just knowing when he can proc his demolish, go to a lane to proc his demolish, versus when he should be in a team fight, trying to actually, like, kill the enemy team, see them, etc.
That's the thing with the Ornn, right? Normally speaking, you think he's going to be a frontline tank. He's looking to join his team for those engages. However, 5-0, he's still doing insane amounts of damage when he goes in. So he's like, you know what? I could solo split push. I could focus on your turrets, or I can join for the team fight. I am the Thunder God of this game. I can go where I please. Get Mundo out of here. Ram is going to see if he can do something. He's going to lose a chunk of health. The Zac goes in, though. We'll see if Pakapal with that slap between the Gnar and the Vladimir can do anything. The Petrify with the Cassiopeia. Gnar is gone. Frontline tank is down. The True Shot Barrage from Ezreal only gonna tickle Zac. Forces passive out. The Vladimir finally falls as well. There is only a disengaging Ezreal for the side of 5 caster minions, and he's gonna need way more than 5 casters to get this team back in the game, as this mid lane inhibitor is surely gonna fall.
I love Quest for Ions actually tanking the turret there just to take it a little bit more quickly. That's always a fun thing to do while you're playing a tank that has heavy armor. One thing I'd like to mention that actually did help out this game, did help out.
Hold on, they're gonna keep fighting, yeah, because the Zac once again ulting members back into the team. Everyone drops low on the side of 5 caster minions, and they will fall. Triple kill for the Jinx. Vladimir pulling, seeing if he can stay alive just a little bit longer. Has to proto build into the fountain to stay alive, because the side of Literal Monkeys want to pad the stats, want to look good for game number 1 of the Amateur Invitational, and they will take down the Nexus as well. There's the Petrify. You can't escape on a Vladimir if you're CC'd for days. The Nexus falls, and Literal Monkeys will claim game number 1.
Again, one thing I'd like to point out that might not have necessarily won them the game, but very much helped them, was the fact that Cassiopeia recognized that she wasn't going to be able to just randomly solo kill Vladimir in lane because of how safe he is. So she took teleport so that she could do a bit better on the macro scale, since Ignite would have been useless, and that actually ended up saving her bot lane with the TP bot side, probably got her a fair amount of CS in the mid lane, maybe got her a gold advantage on the Vladimir to keep pressuring him, keep him down. And yeah, overall it was a great performance by all of the monkeys, Literal Monkeys.
Indeed. Now, for the side of 5 caster minions, they had some struggle. The Gnar, Puffin, Avenger was coming online and had some decent ultimates, but the early game was so rough against Quest for Ions on that Ornn. And so, in the future, now, we will see Literal Monkeys come back for game number 2 right after this. Excited to see what they can do. But for the side of 5 caster minions, when they come in for game number 3, I want to see them shore up some of these mistakes. I want to see their mid laner. If you're going to be focusing on the late game, you can't be fighting as much in the early game. And while Barack Obama and Preacher Boy in the bottom lane kind of stalled the lane out very well like you'd want to do, the top lane Puffin just giving those kills over to Ornn again and again, getting him ahead, and started that snowball that then Traxon picked up and just shoved all the way down to the Nexus.
Yeah, I'm overall very impressed by the bot lane and the top lane specifically of Literal Monkeys. They did very well. The top lane basically just oppressing his opponent. Like, as you can see, he almost had double Puffin's gold. He oppressed his opponent so hard and got such a large CS advantage that really Puffin couldn't compete in lane with him. So he got free gold from the turret, free gold from the minions. He could roam whenever he wanted, while Puffin was forced to basically stay topside and farm, try to go for engages and stuff with his team. But overall, Literal Monkeys just was way too oppressive the entire game for anyone to really pop off on the 5 caster minion side.
Indeed. All right, we're going to take a very quick break. We'll be right back with game number 2. Don't go anywhere. If you want, you can feel free to check out the sister stream, Everlife Gaming Network, or stick around here and we'll actually show it on this stream as well, so that you guys can check in with the games that are happening over there. I believe that's either Group A or Group C. I'm a little bit confused because I got some random information before the game as to which group was group. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.